Battery again. We'll start over. I'll call the June meeting of the Upper Big Blue NRD to order. If you're able, would you please rise and join me in saluting the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty. Thank you. The Open Meetings Act is posted on the wall in the back. Public notice was published in the York News Times. I have a copy up here if anybody wants to look at it. Reminder that we ask that all cell phones be silenced. Please be aware that the meeting is being recorded. When speaking, the desktop microphone button must be depressed. This ensures that your comments are recorded in the entire context. The recording becomes part of the public record with the written board minutes in accordance with state law. Roll call.
Bethune.
Here.
Anthony. Richard. Dickinson.
Here.
Eberspacher.
Here.
Houdersheldt. Kuehner. Here. Nuss. Otte.
Here.
Perry. Here. Peterson.
Here.
Siebert. Here. Stahly.
Here.
Stahr. Here. Weiss. Yates.
Here.
Miller.
Here. We might have a couple more.
Richard. Anthony.
We have a quorum.
All right. Director's excuses. I have Roger Houdersheldt has requested an excused absence, work related. He's delivering chemicals or something like that. So.
Motion to approve.
Second. Been moved and seconded to approve the absence of Roger. Any questions, comments? Roll call.
Anthony.
Yes. Yes.
Richard. Dickinson.
Yes.
Eberspacher.
Yes.
Kuehner. Yes. Nuss. Oh, never mind. Otte.
Yes.
Perry. Yes. Peterson.
Yes.
Siebert. Yes. Stahly.
Yes.
Stahr.
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Oh, Bethune.
Yes.
Motion carried.
The agenda is in front of you. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda as printed?
Move to adopt.
Second. Moved and seconded. Questions or additions? Roll call.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Eberspacher.
Yes.
Kuehner. Yes. Otte.
Yes.
Perry. Yes. Peterson.
Yes.
Siebert. Yes. Stahly.
Yes.
Stahr.
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Bethune.
Yes.
Anthony.
Yes.
Richard. Miller.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Minutes of the May 15th board meeting. Everyone should have got a copy of those. Is there a motion to approve those?
So moved.
Second.
Any corrections or additions? Roll call.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Eberspacher.
Yes.
Kuehner. Yes. Otte.
Yes.
Perry. Yes. Peterson.
Yes.
Siebert. Yes. Stahly.
Yes.
Stahr.
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Bethune.
Yes.
Anthony.
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, now I have the honor of honoring our two scholarship winners, if they would like to come forward.
So we've got Sarah and Evan here, and I'm just gonna have them stand back here if that's okay, and then we'll move down there when we do our picture, but they're gonna just say a few words.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Sarah Weiss. I graduated last year from McCool Junction High School. I'm one of the Burke Scholarship recipients. And this last year, I attended the University of Nebraska-Lincoln majoring in agronomy. So that's what I'm continuing to do the next 3 years. Somewhere in agronomy. I'm not completely decided as what I'm doing after that.
My name is Evan Frink. I'm from north of Hastings. My family farms there. I just graduated from Adams Central. And my plans are to go to UNL, get a degree in ag econ with a minor in precision ag, and then hopefully come back to the farm and farm someday.
You want up here? Back there?
we'll do a picture up there.
Okay.
Yeah. So right down, actually, on the other side of the table. Mhm. And Evan is the younger brother of Blake, who was one of our scholarship recipients. Was it 3 years ago, maybe?
Just graduated.
Okay, so probably 4 years.
Individual or they all together?
Together and one on either side, yeah. Get the lights that are right above. That way we don't have so much glare on the face. On that one.
Talking about my phone.
Never mind. I don't know.
Now, what's the first one you flipped?
There it is, there it is. Okay. That's good. All right, stand just a little bit closer together. There you go. All right. And can you tip your frame down just a little bit, Evan? There it is. Perfect. 1, 2. Couple. Really have that one where everyone's eyes are. Very good. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you. Okay, we'll continue with the Water and Regulations Committee report.
Okay, the Water and Regulations Committee met on Tuesday, June 10, 2025. At 7 o'clock at the NRD office. Those who participated were Dickinson, Otte, Peterson, myself, Stahr, and Miller. Other staff, directors, and guests are also listed down below. I acknowledge that the legal notice of the committee meeting was published in the New York News Times, as well as advise those present in the meeting of the Open Meeting Act that was posted in the entrance by the boardroom. Item A, Aquifer Quality Well Abandonment Cost Share Assistance Program. 3, Aquifer Quality Well Abandonment Cost Assistance Program applications have been reviewed by staff and approved for final payment, totaling $2,823.12. A list is attached. Motion to make cost share payments for 3 well abandonments as reviewed by the committee at a cost of $2,823.12. This motion carried 7 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second. Moved and seconded. Did you catch the second?
He was one of them.
Yeah, that's one of them. That's fine, as long as you call one of them, so. Any questions, comments on this? Roll call.
Eberspacher,
Yes.
Kuehner. Yes. Otte,
Yes.
Perry, yes. Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert, yes. Stahly,
Yes.
Stahr,
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Motion carried.
12 water meter repair cost share assistance applications were reviewed by the staff and recommended for final payments totaling $5,814.67. A list is attached. Motion to make cost share payments for 12 water meter repair cost share assistance applications. The amount of $5,814.67. This motion carried 7 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. Questions, comments? Roll call.
Kuehner.
Yes.
Bohaty.
Yes.
Perry, yes. Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly,
Yes.
Stair,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Eberspacher,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item C, 25 new applications for chemigation cost share have been authorized. 4 have been reviewed by staff and recommended for final payment at a cost of $3,455. A list is attached. Motion to make cost share payments for 4 chemigation cost share assistance applications in the amount of $455. This motion carries 7 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions, comments? Roll call.
Bohaty.
Yes.
Perry, yes. Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly,
Yes.
Stair,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Eberspacher,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item D, the committee reviewed the irrigated acres certification for 5 parcels totaling 368.42 acres, yielding an increase in irrigated acres of 87.77 acres. The total irrigated acres within the district is now 1,249,999.67 acres. Motion to certify acres changes as presented to the committee. This motion carried 7 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments, questions? Roll call.
Perry, yes. Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly,
Yes.
Stair,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Eberspacher,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Bohaty,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item E, the University of Nebraska Vado Zone Study. An invoice was received in the amount of $13,929.05 for work completed March 1, 2025 through April 30th, 2025 on the ongoing Vado Zone study in the district. Staff noted June was the original completion date for the study, but because of equipment and COVID, the project was delayed. Dr. Snow is working on an 18-month extension to use the remaining funds in the grant. Invoice and expense detail sheet are attached. Motion to pay University of Nebraska for work completed March 1st, 2025 through April 30th, 2025 in the amount of $13,929.05. This motion carried 7 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions, comments?
Quick question.
Sure.
I just curious, I wasn't at the water committee. Why haven't they done any much samples on the eastern side, I guess, by Seward is?
That's the site that they've got, that's what we area we have left.
Okay, okay.
So that, those will all be done in our next sample round this, fall.
Any other questions, comments? Roll call.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly,
Yes.
Stair,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson,
No.
Eberspacher,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Bohaty,
Yes.
Perry, yes. Miller.
Yes.
That carried 13-1.
Item F, rules enforcement. Part 1 is other water use reporting update. 117 of the 167 of the reports have been received by the district, which leave 160 wells yet to report. Item 2 is to lift orders of cease and desist for expired or never trained. 6 producers have completed the Rule 5, Chapter 20, Paragraph 2, requiring initial training or recertification every 4 years for their operator Phase 2 and 3 training. A list is attached. Motion to lift order of cease and desist on Cale Carlson, Christopher Howder, Thomas Keenan, Jacqueline Lemming, and co-trustees Todd Lay and Ross Roney, 2R Farms, for coming into compliance with Phase 2 and 3 and Hastings Management Area Rule 5, Chapter 20, Paragraph 2. This motion carried 7 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Siebert,
Yes.
sorry.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't-
On this list here, we've got a Michael George, but he's not in the motion.
That is true. Want me to add him into the motion? Gary? Or is there a reason why he was pulled off?
I would move to amend the motion to include Mr. Michael George in the list of lifting orders of cease and desist.
Second.
Would the maker and the second accept that as a friendly motion?
Yes.
It is added.
You have confirmation, Barry? Was that, you confirm that? Yes.
So in addition to Carlson, Halder, Keenan, Lemming, Lay, and Ross Roney, there will be a Michael George as part of the motion. Is there any other questions? Good catch. Thank you. See any more? Roll call.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly,
Yes.
Stahr,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Eberspacher,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Bohaty,
Yes.
Perry, yes, Peterson,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Carried.
Part 3, lift orders of cease and desist for failure to submit 2024 and 2025 Phase 2 and 3 reporting in Hastings Management Area. Staff provided a list of 22 producers who have complied with Rule 5, Chapter 20, Paragraph 06, Annual Reporting Requirements. A list is attached. Motion to lift order of cease and desist for all producers listed on the attached 24-25 Phase 2 and 3 Hastings order of cease and desist dismissals spreadsheet for coming into compliance with Phase 2 and 3 in Hastings Management Area Rule 5, Chapter 20, Paragraph 06. This motion carried 7 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions, comments? Paul?
What is that now? Yes, yes, he still has, yep. He actually has 2 out, 1 for 22 and 1 for 23.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Stahly,
Yes.
Stahr,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Eberspacher,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Bohaty,
Yes.
Perry, yes, Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Discussion and no action items. Item G actually needs to be moved to an action item. There needed to be a motion made on accepting the draft. So that will be read. Staff provided committee with a second draft of the 25-26 budget. Staff requested a second monitoring well site be included in next year's budget. The site being considered is between Seward and Garland along the eastern border of the district. It is being requested by area residents to monitor water levels due to the new acreages which are being developed. Staff have been in contact with Kathleen Cameron at CSD on a possible site. In addition, the addition to the budget would be $80,000, which still leaves a $100,000 reduction from previous years from 25 budget. Following motion will be to forward the second draft water department budget from committee changes to the executive committee for inclusion in the consolidated budget.
I thought that was just committee action. that they forward
The
on.
other two committees voted, or the projects committee voted. We had a vote on all the other budgets to forward them.
To the
But I
executive.
thought that was, they didn't require board action. I thought that was just a committee motion to forward it on to executive.
I think we forgot to do
We
it.
didn't, I didn't get the, we didn't have a motion made during
Oh,
the
you didn't
committee
do it
meeting.
during committee,
Right.
Okay. Okay, so what was your motion? I'm sorry, to forward it. It was the second draft.
To forward the second draft water department budget with the committee changes to the executive committee for inclusion in the consolidated budget. Do you want it? I have that motion. Here, pass that-
Right.
pass that to her.
Or you can
I'm
copy
the only
and
one that
paste
has
off the computer too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, is everybody clear on
Not
what
used to
we're
it being
doing?
on screen.
Actually, the committee did not forward the budget as procedure was they should have. So we are now doing the committee's job, forwarding that budget to the exec committee.
I saw, it said it leaves $150,000 reduction from the previous. Is it really
That-
105?
Yeah, that was, once we redid and did the budget, it's actually the 100,000.
105, 210 or?
Yeah, the number that's on that sheet there.
Well, this is 100,000. That's what it says on.
Yeah, 100,000.
So, okay, this
Yeah.
technically is not correct then.
I think I just rounded, I didn't put the full.
Oh, okay.
amount number.
That's
I didn't
okay.
put the full amount, so.
Second that motion.
I don't think it ever will.
That is okay.
Yeah, I think you did before.
Okay.
And yeah,
I have a question. So, it's $105,000 less or more? That's by five.
That's it reduced our water budget is still reduced by that amount from last year.
105,000.
Yeah,
It showed the reduction.
It's in the
Is
executive.
that committee?
And
Yeah.
I remember on one of the deals, I think last year, didn't we? In the water budget that we added 2 vehicles, am I correct?
correct. Yeah, we had 2 vehicles in
That
last
was like
year.
75,000. We don't do that every year, so actually, you're kind of lumping that in there and saying, well, really, that would have dropped off. So really, you're only dropping it by 25,000 because you're keeping that 75,000 in there from the cars.
No, that's taken out. It's been, yeah, like I said, I went through the budget, adjusted all the numbers accordingly, and that there's no vehicles within the budget at all. I zeroed that out.
I knew you zeroed it out, but you didn't, so you, but that would
When you go through, once you go through all the calculations, then it ends up out at the bottom, so yeah. So that was part of that reduction, so,
105,000, okay.
right.
Really, it without buying cars every year, with $25,000 last year, that car capital. Everything else the same, you really reduced it 25,000. If you had cars again, you'd have been 185. You'd have been not as high.
Right,
But we
right,
don't do monitoring wells every year either.
right.
So, I mean, there's something every year we do.
Yeah,
Just asking.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's all I have to ask.
Okay.
You want a copy of that, or do you have a
I've
copy of
got
that budget?
it's, yeah.
Yeah. Any other comments? Everybody understand the motion? Roll call.
Stair,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Eberspacher,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes.
Perry, yes, Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item H, Rule 5, staff provided a copy of current rules regarding water quality, which are outlined in chapters 20 through 26 of Rule 5. I framed a discussion by stating the purpose for review of these rules to determine if there is possible changes which can add measurable results. The question was asked, is there any one rule which the district can point to where a measurable change has occurred? It was noted that no one rule made a quantifiable change, but with the adoption of phase rules, the trend line over the past 10 years has flattened some. Education and multiple other factors have played a role in the flattening trend, or it may be flattening on its own too. Discussion followed instead of looking at the district-wide nitrogen management focus, shifting to focus to look at smaller area or even down to the field level. Item I is the executive session, possible litigation. The motion was made to go into executive session at 8:30 PM to discuss possible litigation, allowing the staff to be present. That motion carried 7 yes and 0 no. The motion to come out of executive session was at 8:45 PM, and that motion carried 7 yes and 0 no. The well permit summary you can look at your own time, and I have no additional information, and that concludes my report.
Sure. No. No.
Yeah,
I'd like to, Richard, we're just not allowed to.
Well, I didn't, I just hear it. I guess that, but I thought.
You remember every time we go into executive session, we are reminded that what happens there stays there.
Like fight club.
There's no other questions on the water report. We'll go on to projects and programs. All right, who's in charge of batteries?
Yeah. No, I figured that was the correct answer, but I just had to ask.
That's fine.
Hey, Richard, before you start, I'd like to introduce Raymond Asamoah. He's our new forester. He started, was it 3 weeks ago, Raymond? 3 weeks ago. And Jay Seaton from the Forest Service been out working with him, and Drew's been showing him a lot. We were showing him around the NRD, and we're glad to have him. So you guys know, got any questions? Give him a call. We're working him in slowly. So
Where you living, Raymond? You're in New York here? Okay.
Welcome to the NRD.
Welcome. Are we ready? Okay, Projects and Program Committee is meeting, or met last Thursday, June 12th at the NRD office in York
Those present were myself, Chairperson, Eberspacher, Kuehner, Miller, Nuss, Perry, Stahly, Weiss, Yates. Other directors present, Bethune, Dickinson, Otte, Siebert, and staff members and guests as listed below. Action items, land treatment program. There were no new land treatment project applications this month. The committee reviewed the land treatment program funding for fiscal year 2025. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD approve payment of one NRD land treatment project with a cost share of $300 and forward the payment to the state 9 completed land treatment projects with a cost share of $26,060.37. The payment needs to be approved by the committee to meet the state's fiscal year deadline. The board will ratify this motion at the June 19th board meeting. That motion carried 7 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Questions, comments on this? Roll call.
Yates,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Eberspacher,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes.
Perry, yes, Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert, Stahly,
Yes.
Stair,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Storm damage tree program. There were 3 new storm damage tree program applications with a total estimated cost share of $740. There were 3 completed storm damage tree projects. Note 1 of the 3 new applications has been completed and is included for payment. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD approve payment of 3 completed storm damage tree projects with a total cost share of $876.94. That motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second,
Moved and seconded. Questions, comments? Roll call.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Eberspacher,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes.
Perry, yes, Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly,
Yes.
Stair,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Nebraska Buffer Strip Program, 4th quarter payments. The Upper Big Blue NRD pays the landowner for buffer strip contracts and is reimbursed by the Nebraska Department of Agriculture. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD board approve the 4th quarter fiscal year 25 Nebraska buffer strip programs for 10 Nebraska buffer strip contracts with the total cost share of $16,222.30. That motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Catch one of them.
Yates. Like it didn't what matter, because it's closer.
Comments, questions? Roll call.
Anthony,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Eberspacher,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes.
Perry, yes, Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly,
Yes.
Stair,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Carried.
Item D, trees, NARD payment. Nebraska Association of Resource Districts has submitted the fiscal year 2025 NRD tree seedling program invoice. The total for the Upper Big Blue NRD was $17,494.91, which was reduced by $1,854.46 by the Executive Travel Tree Program credit, leaving a balance due of $15,640.45. Motion, the Upper Big Blue NRD Board approved the payment to the Nebraska Association of Resource Districts for the 2025 NRD tree seeding program of $15,640.45. That motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Questions, comments? Roll call.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Eberspacher,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes.
Perry, yes, Peterson,
Yes.
Yes.
Siebert, Stahly,
Yes.
Stair,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item E, Nebraska Department of Natural Resources stream gauging sites. Nebraska Department of Natural Resources submitted an invoice for the operation and maintenance of the new stream gauging sites on the Big Blue River at Staplehurst and the West Fork Big Blue River near Grafton. The Upper Big Blue NRD has an agreement with the Nebraska Department of Natural Resources to cost share on these stream gauging sites. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD Board approve the payment to the Nebraska Department of Natural Resources of $9,796.20 for the operation and maintenance cost share for the two stream gauging sites. Motion carried, 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions? Yeah.
What's stream gauging?
Will flow.
Is it flow?
Flow. Yeah. How much stream is going down?
And if it's volumetric or if it was a flood level?
Volume. Yeah. Good question. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Do you know, Marie?
Upstream or downstream from
I'm not sure.
Staplehurst?
I can't remember. I have to look at the map.
Is it by the Big Blue River Bridge there on the spur? Yeah.
I'll find out. I'll show you.
They just redid that bridge.
Last year, yeah.
So I think they replaced it.
That's the one going east out of town?
Yeah, on the spur of Highway 15.
I guess not just this one, but all of our agreements or contracts with DNR. Are they gonna have to be redone with the new DEE? Savings. Yeah, that's gonna save us something, sure. Any other questions or comments? Roll call.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Eberspacher,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Bohaty,
Yes.
Perry, yes. Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly,
Yes.
Stair,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Ballgren Dam upstream face erosion control contract. Staff received 5 bids for the Ballgren Dam upstream face erosion control project. Project bid items include mobilization, traffic control, and placement of approximately 104 tons of Nebraska Department of Road Type B riprap. Quotes range from $11,006 up to $24,730. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD Board award Broken Arrow Excavating a contract for placing riprap on the upstream face of Ballgren Dam for their submitted quote of $11,006. That motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Moved, seconded. Questions, comments on this one? Roll call.
Eberspacher,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Bohaty, Perry, yes. Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly,
Yes.
Stair,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Hazard mitigation plan update. JEO Consulting submitted an invoice in the amount of $754.50 for work performed on the hazard mitigation plan update from April 12th to May 16th. Nebraska Emergency Management Agency and FEMA have both approved the final Upper Big Blue NRD hazard mitigation plan. Minor remaining work items include collecting agency adoption resolutions and distributing the final plan. Staff will file the final report and reimbursement requests with NEMA following the end of the quarter on June 30th. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD approve payment of $754.50 to JEO Consulting Group for work completed in the Upper Big Blue NRD multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan update from April 12th through May 16th. That motion carried 9 yes and 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Questions, comments?
Is this for like, is this for flooding and all that stuff or what?
Yeah, it can cover about anything, tornadoes, flooding,
Okay.
all kinds of hazards.
Do we do this every year?
Once every 5 years, it has to be updated.
Okay.
5 years ago was the first year I think Seward and Hamilton and York were the last counties that had
What were the
individual.
tornado sirens? Where's that?
That
at?
was funded through this
That was-
program.
That was another. okay.
You have to kind of identify the hazard in your plan in order to put in a request for funding. So,
Okay.
and if something comes up we didn't have included in our plan, we can add to it next year if we want to. You can update your plan during that 5 year period, but it has to be renewed every 5 years.
Basically, you put it in the plan, then you request. Build the plan.
Keep giving money. every-
If you don't have a plan and there is a disaster, does that mean that
Legal.
the FEMA will not work with you?
This is kind of to prevent or to do it in the front of the disaster. I think that'd be a different thing through FEMA, I believe. But, so this is mitigation, like they want to prevent that kind of stuff from happening, like, for example, the sirens, we're hoping sirens go out, people get out, nobody gets hurt, so. It's kind of get ahead of the bad stuff, I guess.
In theory, I think it's supposed to lessen the impact of a disaster. It's not gonna stop them. Didn't put a wall up for tornadoes or anything, so.
Mother Nature's gonna do Mother Nature.
Yeah. Any other questions, comments? Roll call.
Keener,
Yes.
Bohaty,
Yes.
Perry, yes. Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly,
Yes.
Stair,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Eberspacher,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Projects Department, second draft fiscal year 26 budget. Staff presented the second draft of the fiscal year 2026 Parks Forestry Department budget. Projects included in the second draft were included in the Board of Director projects priority ranking. There were only minor changes from the first draft budget. Parks Forestry Department, second draft fiscal year 26 budget. Staff presented the second draft of the fiscal year 26 Projects Department budget. Motion that the Projects and Programs Committee forward the second draft, the fiscal year 2026 projects budget and the second draft of the fiscal year 2026 Parks Forestry budget to the Executive Committee for consolidation. Motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
We don't need a motion on that.
We
That
don't.
That was just the committee forwarding it.
Oh, that, yeah,
Okay. We don't need a vote on it.
okay. Then we'll move on. Publication of legal notice of meeting, Open Meetings Act, Private Dams Program, Dave Fiala, Private Dam Project in Butler County has been set back to contract delays. It might not be completed by the end of the fiscal year. The Hams Dam bid are due by June 23rd and construction is completed by October 1st. Both dams were scheduled to be completed in fiscal year 2025, but both should be completed within the first 3 months of fiscal year 2026. The benefits of the private dams program are discussed. These dams provide resource benefits such as erosion control, flood control, and groundwater recharge. Resource benefits must be identified before any dam is accepted in the program. Nebraska Department of Natural Resources is very supportive of the private dams program. Cost share maximum was raised a couple years ago from 50 to 75,000 due to rising construction tax. Nebraska Nitrogen Reduction Incentive Act. Staff continues to monitor applications that were selected. If any drop out, staff will contact the next application in line. Water Quality Management Plan incentive programs have been advertised online into the local newspaper. Staff is planning on sending notices to high priority landowners. Sediment surveys. Midwest Dredging and Pond Care conducted sediment surveys on the North Bay of Pioneer Trails, north of the Road 14 Bridge, and the West Pond, west of the Road K Bridge at Recharge Lake. Midwest estimated 1 foot depth of sediment of Pioneer Trails for an estimated 2,500 cubic yards of sediment. A rough estimate for sediment removal by pumping to a nearby basin was $238,700. Midwest estimated 5 to 6 feet of sediment in the West Pond of Recharge Lake with an estimated 8,500 cubic yards of sediment. A rough estimate for the sediment removal was $301,500 plus the cost of locating, constructing a basin to hold the removed sediment. Staff did not propose sediment removal at Recharge Lake in fiscal year 2026 because this project could likely involve draining the lake due to the amount of silt in the lake area, which will be a much larger project. Additional information: Pioneers Trails playground removal. This playground was getting damaged by the weather, and the staff plans to install a new playground in the future, pending future budgets. Pioneer Trailers fish kill. The public reported dead fish at Pioneer Trailers. Staff reviewed the wreck area and notified Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. They thought it was not a major fish kill. Staff will continue to monitor Aurora Trails study. Staff has been contacted by members of the newly formed Aurora Trails Committee. An initial study has identified needed improvements to existing trails and identified several possible new trails throughout Aurora. One of the priorities identified is the North Ridge Phase 1 trail that includes an extension of the Streeter Park Trail that was around the new soccer fields and head north towards the new subdivision and connect existing parking areas. The Aurora Trails Committee will present information, request possible NRD assistance at future committee meetings. Assistance could be provided through the NRD's park program and through the NRD Special Projects Program. Smith Creek Special Use Permit for Camping Group. The annual group that comes at Smith Creek the last week of June has requested a special use permit that allows the large group to utilize Smith Creek Rec Area. The NRD stated this special use permit for the event approximately 5 years ago was wanted to review the process with the committee. The NRD did receive a complaint last year about not being able to utilize the rec area when this group was present. There was some discussion about ensuring that all park facilities are available for others during the group stay. The disabled RV camper parked on the ADA parking spot near the restrooms. The spot should remain open for day use. There was also some discussion about making sure the boat ramp and dock remain usable by day users. The group said they make sure parking spots are available for day users. Some committee members commented that they like to see the area used. The committee advised staff to proceed with the special use permit. And the committee adjourned at 8:30 p.m. And I have nothing else, so that'd be my report. Or Dave, you have something?
I don't know whether it's gonna hit the paper or not. We had some activity at Recharge Lake Friday evening to Saturday morning. We had a drug bust on one of the campsites out there. The 2 individuals that were at the campsite were hauled to prison. Well, one of them just got out of prison and she was taken across the road and dumped back into prison. The gentleman was in county lockup. He has made bail, so he was back out there. We have in our rules and regulations the ability to remove the camper from the campsite. So we went ahead and had that removed. Be happy to answer any questions that I'm able to. I did have a report generated by the sheriff's office. Got a call at 6 o'clock Saturday morning and wanted me to come down. So
Was that York County or was that Nebraska State Patrol?
that was York County.
So if we remove the camper, we have an expense there, then we have to go after them? How's that work?
Actually, it's a long story. The camper was owned by someone else that, other than the 2 individuals. When she was called, she said that she wanted to be in good standing with the NRD. She would come out and remove the camper immediately. So the owner of the camper came out, pulled it off the site. So we did not have any towing charge or lockup.
Good.
Were they called in or was it on patrol? that is out there?
I think they were called in.
Well. No, but it's good that other people out there are paying attention. to us now. There we go, that's.
Yeah. I
But
did, I
I
did
don't-
see that on the, I think it was on Channel 10, 11 news site, but I don't remember saying recharge late.
And I don't know whether we'll hit the media or not, but I just wanted to make you guys aware.
Thank you.
That's all
John,
Yeah.
I just want to make a comment on that sediment surveys with Pioneer Trails and recharge. Why? Well, I guess I'm directing this with Jeff. At Pioneer Trails, 2,500 cubic yards for 238,000. At recharge, it's 3 times as much silt for just 25% more money.
Recharge doesn't include the pit to pump the sediment into. That would be added to that 300,000. At Pioneer Trails, we thought that little dip north of the parking lot on the west side could be made to a little basin. Actually, it's a lot cheaper if they can pump it into a pit near the lake that they're pumping from and let it dry out, and then they can remove it from there. And recharge, we didn't identify a spot, so that would be an added cost.
Yeah, well, it seemed like, for the volume.
Yeah,
cost, everything.
It's not comparing apples to apples, I guess.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry about that, but that's the way it come out.
Any other questions? If not, exec committee?
The executive committee met at 8:35 PM on Thursday, June 12th, 2025 at the NRD office in York. Committee members present were Miller, Kuehner, Dickinson, Perry, Bethune, Bohaty, Otte, Siebert, and Yates. Board Chair Miller acknowledged that we published the legal notice of the committee meeting on June 3rd, 2025 in New York News Times. Miller advised those in attendance that the Open Meeting Act is posted by the entrance to the boardroom. Action item A, fiscal year 26 insurance renewal, Cornerstone Insurance Group discussion. Staff worked with Cornerstone Insurance Group to obtain a quote for the fiscal year 26 insurance renewal package. Due to the liability for the district-owned dams, it is difficult to get insurers to quote the complete package. We have 1 high hazard dam, Hastings Northwest, and 6 significant hazard dams. Dorchester 1A, Dorchester 2A, Larson, Strubing, Recharge Lake, and Oxbow, and 24 low hazard dams that the district owns and maintains. The renewal quote for the district insurance package was presented by Cornerstone Insurance Group. The total workers' compensation premium is based on actual payroll, so a payroll audit will be conducted at the end of each fiscal year to determine if any additional premium or refund of premium is due. You can see the table below. Motion to make, there is a correction in this motion. Motion to make a payment of $102,000, $162 to the FNIC for liability, auto workers, compensation, fire, and casualty insurance for fiscal year 26. The motion carried, 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second. You catch one of them? Okay. He sits close, you can hear him.
I can hear it.
Yeah. Any questions on this?
I would say that's a pretty good low percentage increase. I just saw York City just went up 18% on their insurance costs.
What's your house go up?
Oh, yeah, that
Yeah.
too, yeah.
Yeah, Lynn.
Actually went down because I increased some stuff.
Now, Chad, remember though, our deductibles changed too, so
Yeah.
the deductibles have been the same. The increase probably would have been more.
Any other comments, questions? Roll call.
Audie,
Yes.
Perry, yes. Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly,
Yes.
Stair,
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Eberspacher,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Carried.
Item B, Payment to North Printing and Office Supply for the Blueprint newsletter. The committee reviewed an invoice from North Printing and Office Supply in the amount of $13,793.73 for the printing of the summer 2025 issue of the Blueprint newsletter. Motion to approve payment to North Printing and Office Supply in the amount of $13,793.73 for the printing of the summer 2025 issue of the Blueprint newsletter. The motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments, questions? Roll call.
Perry, yes. Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert, Stahly,
Yes.
Stair,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Eberspacher,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item C, out-of-state travel. The 2025 GMDA Summer Conference will be held July 21st through the 23rd in Idaho Falls, Idaho. Motion to approve out-of-state travel for 2 directors and up to 2 staff that wish to attend the 2025 GMA Summer Conference, July 21st to the 23rd in Idaho Falls, Idaho. That motion failed. 4 yes and 5 no. The next motion was to approve out-of-state travel for any director for up to 4 staff that wish to attend the 2025 GMDA conference, July 21st through the 23rd in Idaho Falls, Idaho. That motion carried 7 yes, 2 no. Why is there no vote on that?
It's a recommendation.
All right, item D. Fiscal year 25 NRD shared service salary reimbursement. The lower Big Blue NRD submitted an invoice in the amount of $8,286.74 for the salary and benefits of the Saline County NRCS secretary for work performed in fiscal year 2025. Motion to approve payment of $8,286.27 to the Lower Big Blue NRD for the Saline County NRCS Secretary fiscal year 25 salary and benefits. The motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Moved, seconded. Questions, comments? Roll call.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly,
Yes.
Stair,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Eberspacher,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes.
Perry, yes. Miller.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item E, the evaluation of the general manager job performance in fiscal year 26 compensation. The executive committee recommended that the full board consider the general manager's job performance in any salary adjustment at the June 19th, 2025 board meeting. Motion that the full board conduct the evaluation of the general manager's job performance in any salary adjustments. The motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Moved, seconded. Any comments? Well, there's no motion to go into the executive session is what I was
We'll
thinking.
have to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
roll call.
Yeah, good.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly,
Yes.
Stair,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Eberspacher,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes.
Perry, yes. Peterson,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Motion carried.
I would entertain a motion to go into executive session.
I will make that motion.
Second.
Kendall Second,
I know,
Richard made the
I know,
motion.
I'm just starting writing, I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay. Are we up to
Yes.
date?
I retired from working on the budget.
Roll call.
Stahly,
Yes.
Stair,
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Eberspacher,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes.
Perry, yes, Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Use your microphone.
Yes. I would move to go out of executive session.
Second.
Roll call.
Stair,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Bethune, Anthony,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Eberspacher,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes.
Perry, yes, Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly,
Yes.
and Miller.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Do we have any motions from the floor?
I would make the motion to give the general manager $136,000.
Salary for the next year.
Yes.
Is there a?
Oh, yeah, I know, but to set his salary at.
Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
It's moved and seconded. Further discussion?
Before we vote on, have
You're approving a salary of $136,000 for the general manager for fiscal year 26.
Thank you. Yeah, right. Comments, questions? Roll call.
Yates,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Eberspacher,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Otte,
Yes.
Perry, yes, Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly,
Yes.
Stair,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Motion
Jake?
carried.
Does the executive committee have anything further to report?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
The July committee meetings were
Oh,
changed to
yeah.
water and projects on July 8th for 2025 and the executive committee July 15th. Item G and H item H is the public relations tour, August 15th. Dave, personnel report.
Yeah, you've already met Raymond. We've had a new hire in Hamilton County, Haley Christensen. Mason Ogle is our weekend maintenance department worker. We've had one resignation, Jacob Rebber resigned effective July 31st. He's going to graduate school. And we received a letter of resignation from Crystal dated effective date of July 2nd of 25.
All right, legislation's over with for the year. Thank you. Yeah.
Is there a kind of like a open house or goodbye to Crystal thing after? Just curious. No, okay. I mean, I need to tell her goodbye tonight.
Yeah. Crystal, do you have any parting shots?
Yeah.
I am here. Yeah.
Tell her right here.
Yes. Gonna miss you too, Richard. Thank you. No, so I have worked here almost 6 years. I started in August of 2019 and, so much of job satisfaction is liking the people that you work with. I think your day-to-day tasks really matter a whole lot less than the people that you work with. And I have been very fortunate to work with some very fine people at the NRD. And so I just want to say thanks to everybody that made my time here special. I am going to be working for the Carpenters Union when I get to Tennessee. I'm going to be working for the Southern District of the Carpenters and Millwrights Trade Association, doing marketing and outreach for their apprenticeship programs over an 11-state region for 28 training facilities. So it's going to be completely different content area than what I've been doing for the last 6 years, but I think it'll be an interesting new adventure. So anyway, I do hope you'll all keep in touch. If you'd like my contact info, let me know afterwards and I'll connect you. And yeah, so thank you all very much.
Have you learned Rocky Top yet?
No, Dave wouldn't sing it for me. I don't understand. So I did just get back from a trip to Tennessee though, got into town at 4 a.m. this morning. So if I look a little glassy eyed, that's why. So, but listened to a lot of Dolly Parton on that trip. So.
All right, thanks, Crystal. There's the monthly financial statement attached. You can see all the upcoming events. The meeting adjourned at 9:35. That concludes my report.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I would draw your attention to the back sheet of the executive committee report. We tried to put together a little comparison of all the different budgets and where we're standing right now for total. If this is not what you want, let me know, but this was as simplistic as we could without giving you everybody's budget again.
Good job, thanks.
Thank you.
If anybody's going to complain, I was going to say I asked for it, but no, great job. But yeah, that's what I was looking for. So.
Dave, you, just for the guys that weren't here on the executive, when I asked about our levy, you said we cannot, correct me if I'm wrong, we will not know our levy, be able to know our levy until we get all the assessed value of all the properties done and all those protests done, correct?
Yeah. And that's typically September.
Yeah, we'll know our tax asking, but that's different than the mill levy. So we'll know next month when we put everything in the consolidated, we'll have a rough idea of our tax asking. But mill levies are set by valuations first, and then the tax asking is divided into the mill levy to give you the.
Financial statement, I believe you've got one in front of you. I got one in email. I assume everybody else did too. I'll give you a few minutes to look it over. Got any questions? Speak up.
When does Miro usually get our stuff done? Like,
Well, normally we just got the stuff back yesterday.
Okay.
We're having to really push everything to get stuff back and get it into the consolidated by the 15th. So we have to have everything cut off by the 8th. It's gonna be a little, I have to kind of, the treasurers have until the 15th technically to get in their selections. So I'm gonna have to try to see if I can't get those a little early so that we can have that.
on another board we're having the same issue.
Right, so, but anyway, so as soon as I can get all of that pulled together. They've been doing that for this is like the second, third year from, yeah, we've been doing it for about 3 years.
It's in trees. If you remember when we paid the tree. Yeah.
The 18.
No.
No, let me try and explain it real briefly. About 4 years ago, Executive Travel came to NARD and wanted to offset their carbon footprint from the jet planes. Edson created a $50,000 statewide program that we get compensated each year from the number of trees we sold the previous year. And as, yeah.
That should probably be revenue.
Why is it attributed to each person? No, it's not revenue. how they do, we're paying,
Oh, you're paying them.
this is the grant, and we're gonna use that to pay, and we picked like the 5 individuals that planted the most trees. So we went to like, that's the largest number, 5 largest plantings, and so those people are getting a check. But the revenue doesn't show, it doesn't like show up because it's net on the invoice. They just deduct it off the invoice.
Did that answer your question? Be happy to talk more about it if you have questions. That, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Say that again? That's who sponsors the deduction, the grant.
Where were those bollard posts put in installation?
Yeah, they're on it. They were in a trailer right as we speak, I think. We could buy surplus cheap. Okay. And so instead of just getting the number of ballards we needed, we got a few extra. They're out in the chain link fence right now.
Motion to approve the financial statement
And pay bills.
and pay the bills.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any other questions, comments? Roll call.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Eberspacher,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Bohaty,
Yes.
Perry, yes, Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly,
Yes.
Stahr,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Anybody from the public got any comments? Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, you got anything to say?
Got an email yesterday from Dean. They hired a new intern. Her name is Emma Jones. She's currently going to University of Nebraska, so she's working part-time at the NRD office. At her meeting, we approved the budget for next year. On the insurance front, none of the premiums are changing, which is positive. The meeting in Kearney is scheduled for September 28th through the 30th. The final date for resolutions was set at August 22nd. We voted on conservation award winners. 2 of them that we submitted won. Joel Miller from Hampton School got teacher or educator of the year. And James McCowan from McCool got soil conservation award. Big book. So well, it's going to continue. So MPBD is flying state senators out to the Perkins County Canal area and into Colorado for tours. And then they take them up to Lake McConaughey to show. A lot of these senators have never been out west even and don't even know about the irrigation system around McConaughey. So it really shows them what was done 30, 40, 50 years ago and how that's helping farmers to show them why the Perkins Canal is needed. Something that was brought up that's occurring around Lincoln, Omaha with private wells and something that be considered. So for domestic wells, you don't need to permit to put them in. And around their areas with acreages and developments, they're putting the wells closer to irrigation wells than they're supposed to be. Then they're not drilling them deep enough, so they start irrigating, their wells go dry. They want to come back on the irrigators. South Lincoln's having that problem quite a bit. So something to consider. They're going to talk to state senators, see if there's interest in making a well permit for domestic wells as well, so that they can be controlled. It's just something in the future to think about. Then we talked about Bestie Forest, where we get our trees. So federal government put a hiring freeze on their employees. There's been quite a few retirements, so they're short-staffed. So it may affect tree production here in the next few years. So they're trying to come up with ways that maybe the NRDs could help, or help fund positions or something of that nature. I believe that's all I got this month, unless somebody has questions.
Any questions, Paul? Yeah.
You spoke about, people drilling private wells or there's irrigation. Would that be something NRDs that should put rules in, or do they think it's better that the state takes control of that?
It'll have to be a state policy.
Yeah, but why can't the NRDs do? Why can't we, anybody that wants to drill a well, but can we require them to get a permit through us, even if it's a 10-gallon well?
Currently, our policy doesn't support that.
Right.
You guys can
But
put,
I don't know, and I just wondering, maybe we need, or something, not that I want any more rules or regulations. Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure that's statutory.
Okay, that answers my question. Yeah, if it's 50 gallons and, yeah, okay. Well, okay, I just threw that out there, so.
Any other comments?
Real fast.
Yeah.
Saw the new first guy.
Is that the tolls that's got the stuff up actually in our district?
Is that going to be on the southeast corner? I just saw the news flash. Or the pictures, it was close to my son's house. So I just, for a year. A year is what I heard.
They sell that type of milk at Costco now. It just sits there. It's in those little cartons. And it's, yeah. So I take it it's the same thing.
We do not have an NARD report because this is a NRCS, excuse me, NRCS report. Because this is a legal holiday and none of them are working, so.
Motion to adjourn.
The chairman hasn't asked for that yet. Crystal, I want to say thank you. You will be missed. I appreciate what you've done for this NRD, what you've done for my family, and for this board. So you'll be missed, and thank you for everything. So. Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, stay here.
Motion carried.